like to welcome everyone to the press conference for the Honda Fox Raceway National presented by Fox. Guys, a lot of, first of all, let's give it up to our number one overall. He went 1-1 on the day, Mr. Jett Lawrence. Second place, going 2-3, that's going to be his brother, Hunter Lawrence. And third place, going to be with a 4-2, going to be number 4 of Chase Sexton. Guys, a lot to unpack here. Jett, you keep the 24 wins in a row going. Hunter, 2 podiums and an overall in your first 450 outing. And Chase, a rough start but worked up to a great finish in there. Talk about that start. It was a little bit of mayhem for both of those starts in the 450.
My start wasn't good in the first moto, but I actually made it work. I was probably 5th or 6th, and I went to the outside when I went down the hill, and I think Dylan made a mistake and kind of came to a stop, and I just tagged his rear tire and went down, and then I fell again. So it wasn't a great start, but I came back pretty good. I rode well at the end of the moto, and then second moto, Hunter came out like came out of a cannon in the gate, and I was right next to him, so I kind of just followed him on the first turn, and then Phil actually came out of nowhere, and I think passed me and him. So it was kind of chaotic, but we actually had a good pace going, and then I passed Hunter in the switchback right here, and I think the pace kind of went up a little bit, and I went off the track and tried my best, but he when I came up behind him, he would answer, and I just got to get better at finding some more pace.
You know, Hunter, impressive ride for you in both motos, gaining on your brother for a little bit. You set the mark pretty high for the first one out.
He did or me?
No, you did.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I mean, sure, it wasn't bad. It was a good day. Had a pretty cool gear set collab, so you always want to do a little extra good in that, so you got a little power to convince A-Stars for some more one-off kits. But no, it was a good day, honestly. I'm not too fond of this place, but it's been pretty good to us, so maybe we'll come back and visit sometime soon.
Jett, I'm going to hand it off to the media. I think they're going to ask you a lot of questions anyway.
All right, so just to start this thing off, who would win in a round of golf between you three sitting up there?
If my driver's good, if my medals are good, me, but screwed me over this past day.
Are we going on like who would win with who could lose many balls, or are we going strokes wise? Because if it's going losing balls, we would have a very big lead.
Just strokes. I mean, who's shooting better?
Hunter and I have played together. I've never played with Jett, but
yeah, we played.
When Hunter and I played, it was not pretty.
It wasn't pretty by any means. We were just out there on the course. I wouldn't say we were playing, but the strokes add up.
I think we all have our days, but
yeah, and it gets if we're feeling good, we're good. But then if stuff goes wrong, our solution is to swing harder. So then it gets even worse. So
okay, I like it. Thanks, guys.
I think it's even. Whoever's
Great
feeling
job.
good.
Yeah, sweet.
Thank you, Levi Kitchen. For those that didn't see the camera on him, that was Levi Kitchen. I'll go full serious Moto media question right now, Jett. Congratulations, 24-0 now. You can actually you can kind of claim that. I've seen people say that 22-0 is not 24-0, so you've got that one now. Looked like in the second moto from where I was standing, very, very active in the rear end of the bike. Did you guys maybe miss the mark a tiny bit setup-wise? And I guess you make it look easy when you go 1-1, but if the bike isn't working the way maybe you wanted it to, does that kind of make it a little bit more of a harder day at the office than maybe you would have liked?
I think definitely when the bike's not kind of working as well as you want it to be, you have to put a little bit more effort everywhere else just to kind of hold it down, or whatever it's doing. You need to kind of adjust for that and use that bit more strength to hold it. And yeah, I mean the first moto was the worst. I could say I kind of was at a bit of a limit. I couldn't push too hard. I could kind of push a little hard at the start when the bumps weren't so vicious, but once we got later, halfway and later, it kind of got a little worse when I tried to use more flow. We got it sorted for the second one, but ended up kind of going more to the front a little bit more. And but thankfully we were able to push if we were precise enough. And but it's good to finally get 24-0 to kind of match Ricky and James. But no, we're gonna go back to the drawing board, look at some stuff and improve that, but then also improve myself. Because obviously in Supercross, I think we're a little heavier with our legs, and we don't move them as much because we have such stiff suspension. So we try and get the suspension to work more. Where in outdoors, you use your legs a lot more. So I think throughout the season, I think it will just get better and better and kind of get my motor legs more and more.
Dan Beaver, NBC Sports for Hunter. Ended Supercross extremely well, and now this is probably your best run on a 450. Are you completely gelling with the bike now, or is it momentum? What was the key to success today?
Yeah, I mean, it's my best, and it's also my first outdoor race on one. So, yeah, I'm happy, you know. I know what my ability is, and obviously I train with this guy during the week and for the past however many years, you know. So we know where the bar is, and we know where we can improve and stuff. And, yeah, we missed the mark a little bit in the second moto, but that happens, you know. It's up to the rider to make the difference, and we're able to compensate that and stuff and not just point the finger at the bike. You know, we look at ourselves a lot, and I think you see that in our results. You know, we're always hold ourselves accountable and just give the best we can do regardless of the track, the bike, whatever's thrown at us. You know, all we can do is give the best. So that's what we just try to do.
And for Jett, perfect in motocross still, but also perfect here. You've never lost an overall. What is it about this track that is so good for you?
I don't know. I'm not a big fan of the track, so I mean, it's just nice to us. I think it's a one-way street with the track and the loving side of things, but I don't know. I think I guess we just gel with starts here. They're pretty good, and yeah, I guess we gel with the track. I guess I don't know. I mean, I spent quite a lot of days here in 2019 on 250, but I'm not quite sure if that gives anything different to race day. So I don't know. I might just get lucky here. But I think it's a one-way street with the love and side of things and luck. But no, we're happy about it, so that's for sure.
And for Chase, in some ways it was the same, you pushing Jett as hard as you were in the second moto, but obviously it's different now that you're with a new team. Did it feel any different, or did it just feel like it did last year when you were doing this?
Yeah, I mean, it feels pretty similar. I do feel like my fight this year is a little bit more. I feel more fresh, and I'm definitely very motivated. Last year I was coming off a Supercross, and to be honest, wasn't gelling. I was just kind of off in outdoors, and I think my speed and stuff's getting better. So just got to work on the starts a little bit, get out of the chaos in the first couple laps. But yeah, I feel like today I rode pretty well. Second moto, I was pretty patient for the first 15 minutes, and then try to pick it up and make a charge. So go back to work and try and put a stop to this next weekend.
Chase, do you think the KTM is a little bit better of a bike? Not better of a bike, but I guess a better starting point when it comes to outdoors. Like, I'm guessing that to jump on a brand new bike for Supercross, you don't get a lot of time. On an outdoor track, you kind of just have to go straight into training in that Supercross lane. Like, does it help, or is it a bit easier of a platform to get used to a new bike in motocross?
Yeah, I would say it's a lot easier in outdoors. I think that comes with how much testing they have with MXGP. I mean, if you look at the class over there, I mean, I feel like most of it is KTM based. 250 class for sure, 450 class not as much, but they have a lot more data and a lot more time with the bike. For me in Supercross, I went completely the opposite direction of what everyone else was doing last year and years past. So it took me a while to get the bike where I wanted it. Outdoors were definitely closer. So yeah, I would feel like it definitely works better outdoors. It's a pretty, I feel like, stable bike, so that's nice. And today coming down the hills was good. Not the greatest in the corners, but we were able to go downhill fast, so that was nice. But yeah, we have some work to do, and just be an evolution for the whole season.
And just to follow up on that, like, do you have a sense that this bike and yourself could be quite a bit better when we head east? Because you really don't. I mean, I saw you ride Parlor here a couple Mondays ago, but I'm guessing that
it wasn't great.
You look pretty good, but I'm guessing that going east is going to be much more comfortable, and you're going to have more data personally on the East Coast tracks.
Yeah, definitely. I've never considered myself a sand guy. I grew up riding hard packed and ruts, and when I got on this bike, I actually prefer riding the sand more now than the hard pack, which is, I don't know if that's a good thing or bad thing. But the bike seems to work pretty well. It's a stiffer chassis, so I would say that helps me in the deeper conditions. So we'll see. Southwick's not one of my favorite tracks, but hopefully this year it pays off and we can go out there and put in a good result. But the bike is definitely, I would say, better on softer tracks.
Hunter, this one's for you, brother. Not so much a question, but I guess just wanted to hear your thoughts, or like maybe let the fans at home know about the process that goes into making a gear. You and Jose have nailed some of maybe the cooler collabs gear-wise. Just in your own words, like what's the process? Where do you draw inspiration from? Obviously, a post on Alpine Star's social media of you, the McLaren boys in F1, like. It's pretty cool the way that you guys cook these things up.
Yeah, absolutely, and it's maybe we need to give more insight that what goes into it, because it starts like months and months and months in advance, and it goes through so many channels. Like, for this one, long story short, once we get the design of the gear and McLaren has this is what the livery is going to be. This is what Alpine Stars does the kits. They submit to all sponsors. Everyone checks off it. Then it gets presented to the actual Senna family. Same with my kid, and they have to sign off on it. Obviously, it's about they're one of their own, so they have the final word, whether yay or nay. And they loved it for everyone's stuff this year, and it's pretty crazy. I'm a huge car fan and love motorsport racing, and to have, one of the biggest names in Formula One, and to have a tribute kit with McLaren F1 in Monaco. Pecco Bagnaia, he had the gloves as well in, I can't remember where they were racing this weekend in MotoGP, but yeah, it's pretty honourable to do that. And like I said, being motorsport car-based is just like, hold that pretty close. That's special.
And sorry, guys.
The gear was sick. I was a big fan.
Yeah.
I was pretty jealous. I was looking. I'm like, that's probably one of the best kits. The boots, I saw them on Thursday. I'm like, oh god, this gear is gonna be sick.
Yeah. It's cool because I think, and I speak for myself, when other guys have a one-off kit or something, like there's no ego in saying, it doesn't look good because I don't have it. Like anyone can recognize a good kit and go, you know what, tip of the cap, and that was really cool. Like everyone. I'm sure social media will have their own opinions like they always do, but everyone here today that exists and as a person, they loved it, which is cool. And it's funny to think it's just for content and a tip of the cap at the end of the day, to celebrate 30 years, since his unfortunate passing at Imola, which was last weekend, but this exact date.
Yeah, and I just think it's cool that a brand like Alpine Stars can actually like tie together all of these different sports. I mean, I know you guys are F1 and MotoGP fans, and I know that all of the F1 and all of the MotoGP guys are huge fans of what you do. So there's not a lot of opportunities that we get to bridge the gap in the sport, but I feel like those kind of gear combos are a way to do that for you guys.
Absolutely. Like the Gibson one with music and action sports. It's two different worlds and stuff, and I think the gears and the F1 boys that's trending in Brazil on all of social media, like, the Brazil social media side of things is crazy. The repost, the Brazilian flags, they go wild on that stuff. So, yeah, it's epic.
And for Jett, on TV, they made a point of you doubling onto one of the jumps and hitting just at the very top of it so you could get a good run downhill. Do you remember which Dragonback? Oh. Okay. When did you find that? And do you feel that made a difference in your lap times and how you kind of gapped the field in the first moto?
I was pretty pumped. I found it today. And I don't know, just kind of that stuff kind of for me either happens accidentally or kind of you could see it kind of working in and try it. I got it a few times. It was pretty finicky because of you had to do it in a rut, and when you keep on hitting it more and more, it kind of would get a side kick on. I got a little Larry one lap, but yeah, just kind of you see it and you're like, oh, kind of imagine you could do it, and when it works out, it's definitely pretty nice. But it just kind of helped just keeping that momentum going forward instead of hitting that top one and bouncing again. So yeah.
Jett, will you be wearing a cup going forward?
Yes. Maybe not cup, some type of foam. My little bunions can't handle much rocks anymore. Yeah. Hunter had the sick gear. I had the ladies brand thing. I think my ass looked pretty good in it, so had a nice rainbow on the back.
Levi. Congratulations, boys.